Let's talk about the selection of the rendezvous point. You can choose to configure your rendezvous points for each group statically, entering direct configuration for each router, or you can use auto rendezvous point, which is a Cisco proprietary solution when you can have several candidate rendezvous points for your groups. They will advertise themselves using the Multicast address 224.0.1.39, and you will need a mapping agent that will be in charge of actually electing the rendezvous point for each group, and then it will create an elected rendezvous point to group map that will be propagated through the network using the multicast address 224.0.1.40. The other way to do this is using the standard version of this, which is using a bootstrap router. With the bootstrap router will only gather the list of candidate rendezvous points to groups. It will create these candidate rendezvous points to group maps, and it will advertise that information into the network. So notice the difference between using a bootstrap router and using mapping agents. The bootstrap router will not elect the rendezvous point. When using a bootstrap router, the election happens at each hour router in the PIM network. They will be using a hash function in order to select the rendezvous point for each group. You can have several routers that are willing to become the bootstrap router in your network. These are known as candidate bootstrap routers. The one having the highest priority will become the bootstrap router. If that ties, and the one having the highest IP address will become the bootstrap router. You can also use other techniques, such as Anycast rendezvous point, where you can have several rendezvous points that have the same IP address, so you can load balance between several rendezvous points for the same group. There are other variations of PIM, such as source-specific multicast, that in this solution you will need to use IGMP version 3 to let receivers explicitly tell what sources they are willing to receive information from. This solution will use only source-specific multicast distribution trees. They will never use shared trees. There is also another variation that is known as bidirectional PIM that will not have a registration process and will always use star, G multicast routing entries. This scales better and to an arbitrary number of sources.